What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Matt of Pig and Matt here. So, it was the last day of the format, and I went to locals yesterday and decided that since it doesn't matter, I'm just going to play a fun deck. So, that's what I'm going to show you guys here today. But before then, I'd like to let you know that the next episode of Can I Budget should be out sometime around Wednesday or Thursday. And I'm going to be starting here soon on episode 3. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, let's quote the BS and show you guys this deck profile. So the deck I chose to play in question is MEH-chine. The reason I decided to play this is because a lot of people are currently sleeping on the Therion package. So it got slightly cheaper and easier to get the cards. And Regulus here is an absolute boss that adds a lot to the deck. I'll get to explaining that in a second. But I also like to make note that I kind of promised somebody that I would build this deck and play it for them, so I did. And overall, the deck is super solid. It has really good board breaking abilities, and it can kind of keep chugging along. The only issue is occasionally it can brick really, really badly. And in a lot of games, I kind of wish I had hand traps to do stuff, but at the same time, you kind of don't necessarily need them because the deck just can break through boards and kind of build its own pretty easily. It's a good going first or going second deck, and it has a lot of play lines for people who like the thing. So, let's go with the BS and show you guys the deck profile. Start out, 3 copies of Therion King Regulus. In this build in particular, you do not need to play the field spell because he's plenty searchable as is. And you have a lot of cards that thin your deck, so you can sometimes just kind of draw into him near the end of your combo. But he's basically just a big earth machine that can help nib-proof your board. Alright. For the Infinitrax, I ran 2 copies of Harvester, a singular anchor drill. I play him because he has 500 defense, and I kind of like the plays he opens. 1 copy of Trencher has 500 attack. 1 copy of Tunneler has 500 defense. And a singular copy of Brutal Dozer. This deck has a lot of extra techie cards that make it where you don't really need to max out on this. But sometimes I kind of really wanted to because I much prefer that over the next cards I'm about to show you in all honesty. But even then, you could still play this as a pretty tight and concise package, and it works perfectly fine. Alright. That package in question is the Machina cards. I played 2 copies of Gear Frame with 1 copy of Unit Class Bar. Basically, the combo is your normal Gear Frame, you search this, and then when this is added from the deck to the hand, except by drawing, he special summons himself. And then on special or normal summon, he Foolish Burials a Machina card. So you could send the trap card if you needed to. I really do not like this card, and I really just don't want to play this package in future builds of the deck, but it does open up a nice variety of plays. And this is still a pretty good starter. But I'm probably going to drop this personally. Machina Fortress is the greatest card ever printed. And don't let anybody lie to you. 2 copies of Machina Metal Cruncher. This card is fantastic. And then the singular copy of Machina Citadel. It's just a reoccurring boss monster that can Regeki your opponent's field. It's really good. That's it for the Machina package. For the Train package, you play 1 Derrick Crane and the singular Bullet Train. Bullet Train's really good because he puts cards back into your hand during the end phase of the turn that he's sent to the graveyard. Of course, he special summons himself, so he helps you combo off. And him are at level 10. That just work beautifully in tandem. And then the last machine monster is just 1 copy of Ancient Gearbox. It's your brick, but the next cards I'm about to show you make him not nearly as terrible to draw. And when he's added from the deck to the hand via a card effect, or he also triggers if he's added from the graveyard to the hand as well, you get to add a monster with 500 attack or 500 defense, which your Infinitrack guys have. So it's really good. And if you happen to have the level 4 guy and him in your hand, when you summon the level 4 guy, you can special him, and you can either make a rank 4 or a rank 8. Alright, now the Earth part of the Earth Machine are probably some of the newest cards in the deck. I play a small Vernisylph package of 3 copies of the Flourishing Hills, 2 copies of the Awakening Forest, and 1 copy of Winnie the Pooh. So all of them have the effect that you can ditch card or ditch themselves in a monster to then do an effect, and then afterwards special summon an earth monster from your graveyard. In her case, you can special summon the same monster you ditched with her. In his case, it has to be another monster, and I think it might be the same for him. I don't know. You guys can pause the video and read the card if you need to. And then each one of them has an associated effect that goes along with it. She adds a Vernisylph card, except for herself. He Foolish Burial's a monster that can be normal summoned, so you can send your Bullet Train. And then Winnie the Pooh here just draws a card. It works way surprisingly well, and kind of makes hard drawing Ancient Gearbox not as bad. It's actually quite strange just how good this packages for the deck, but these numbers are all flexible. You can cut them down if you wanted to play hand traps or floodgates or whatever, but I think you should play them if you're playing this deck. Alright, so now we're going to go to the spells. You play basically 5 copies of Reinforcement of the Army in some way, shape, or form. This adds your Infinitrack monsters. It also has 2 extra effects where it can either attach itself to an Exceed monster as a material, or it can put one of your guys from, or change their battle position. And I literally did that one singular time because I accidentally normal or special summoned a guy in defense mode, used this, put him into attack mode so I could attack the opponent's monsters. I think the only... Oh, wait, no, he was under Droplet, so I couldn't have done the effect to attach it either, but that's irrelevant to this part of the conversation. Redeployment here is you discard a card, and you either add 2 Machina monsters of different names, or if you discarded a Machina monster, you can add a Machina card. Any 2 Machina cards, except, of course, the redeployment. Card's insane. And then 2 copies of Urgent Schedule is the last machine-specific support. Obviously, it's a fantastic going second card, and it has the nice effect that if it's destroyed while set, you get to add a level 10 monster from your deck to your hand. It's really good. Alright, now onto the more utility spells. The one Called by the Grave and the singular Harpy's Feather Duster. I always want an out to Mystic Mine, and that's what this is. Alright, now the only cards kind of have mixed emotions on are these 2. Forbidden Droplet, Triple Tactical Talents. Either this is the best card ever made and it wins you a game, or it sits in your hand, does nothing, and pisses you off. And more games than not, this did nothing because people really weren't doing monster effects on my turn. I think people know how to play around this at this point, so I'm probably going to end up cutting this card. Droplets here is really, really good. You tend to have a lot of cards to be able to use as fuel for this, but even with that in mind, there still were instances where I wished that this was a Dark Ruler No More or something like that. So if you don't have droplets, even after the 10 reprints, these could easily be Dark Ruler No More and do about the same thing. Alright. And the very last card is a singular copy of Machina Overdrive. Some parts of me wants to play more of this. This card's really good because it can destroy a machine to special summon a Machina from your deck. It's really, really good. And then it has a graveyard effect where it can banish itself to target up to 3 banished, or it targets 3 that are either banished or in your graveyard, or a combination of the two machine monsters, shuffles them into the deck, and draws you a card. It's really good. Basically makes your Infinitrack plays just do more. Fantastic card. Alright, for the extra deck, I played 3 copies of the Link 1. You're going to go through all 3 every turn. And it has a neat effect that when it's sent to the graveyard, it can attach itself to an Exceeds monster. It's really good. 1 Ballista. You kind of do it for the first turn combo, because you'll just usually turn 2 of these into this, search Roddy. Roddy will then search you another card if you're lucky, and then you just keep comboing off. Basically, your end board is usually Angle Knuckle. He has the neat effect where you can special summon a level 10 from your graveyard. Or if he's in your graveyard, he could send a card, special summon himself. Really good card. Kind of helps facilitate a lot of plays. Kind of the flex spots are a singular Platinum Gadget and Cliffort Genius. You can cut this if you want to. I just always like to play it because it's an Earth Machine and it has a pretty decent effect where if 2 monsters are special summoned to its columns, you basically get to add a guy. It's really good. Platinum Gadget, you can use it in certain play lines involving this guy right here. Because you can go the gear frames, summon the class bar or whatever, ditch, or send like a fortress, overlay into this, search your level 2 guy, detach, or obviously you detach, search level 2. You can then ditch monsters to special the fortress from grave, link them into the gadget, special summon a level 2, keep going off from there. It's pretty good. The best card in the whole deck, River Stormer. This card's fantastic because it can just add Regulus from your deck to your hand. It's insane. Just, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Kind of 2 personal choices that I like to play is the Earth Slicer and Dingirsu. This guy just pops stuff and is really, really fucking big. Dingirsu here, he's just a personal favorite of mine, and why I play the level 4 guy, because then you can turn him and another level 4 into 8, make this non-target, send a card on your opponent's field to the graveyard. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I did summon him in the day. And then the actual best cards in your whole extra deck that aren't the rank 5, CHOO-CHOO, motherfucker. If you've ever played trains, you should know exactly what these do. This card wins you in time. This is obviously the best rank 10 ever made. Don't let anybody ever lie to you. You can put this guy on top of these guys to then deal big number. And you can actually legitimately hard make this card in this deck. It's really funny. Usually never happens, but you can still do it. So yeah, there you have it. My Earth Machine deck. Some final thoughts with it. Deck's super fun. Still completely playable next format. But it's going to need some improvements. Personally, in my testing on this day, I kind of want to fit hand traps into it so I can just kind of interact in the opponent's turn when I'm not going first. Because sometimes, while this can break a board, it's kind of a massive pain in the ass to do so. But yeah. If you guys have any recommendations down below, just let me know. Tell me what you think about the deck profile, changes you would make, and you know, all that jazz. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that. And this is Meh, Pig and Meh, signing out.